Oh shit, we're back with another video. Welcome to the video. My name's Steven. In this video, I'm going to talk about exactly what I did to kill my social anxiety. And actually, funny enough, this one tactic right here not only helped me do better at cold approaching girls or talking to strangers, but it also made those people more likely to talk to me first, which is really weird. And this is such a strange tactic. I've never heard anyone talk of it, and it was kind of just something I came up with the other day. And just a little bit of background, I don't really have social anxiety, but sometimes if there's like a pretty girl or there's like someone who, I don't know, looks interesting to talk to, sometimes I might get a little bit in my head and be like, should I go say something to them? Should I say hi? Whatever. This killed that. I have had no issues since I started doing this, cold approaching people, random people, just talking to strangers. And it's actually also helped me just feel better day to day. So it's a really, really weird tactic. I'm going to go over this weird tactic, and then I'm going to go over these other two cold approach strategies that you can use. I'm not a fucking dating coach. Don't listen to me for dating advice, but these have just helped me talk to more people. So the first one and the main tip of this video, it's like super autistic, but it works so well. So I'll give you an example. Say you just walked into a coffee shop and you see like all these people everywhere, and immediately that social anxiety of like, okay, that girl, like, that girl's pretty, I kind of want to talk to her. Or you see some random person and they look interesting to talk to, but maybe you're a little bit scared. So this is kind of the method that I have for myself. I'll immediately walk in and start pointing out things in my mind that are not that interesting, but could be kind of interesting. Here's my example. It works really well with colors. So this pair of scissors is blue. Look at this blue, bro. Look at how sick that blue is. That is the kind of stuff I say to myself in my head. And then I find multiple things to do that with. So say I'll see like a coffee mug and it's green. And I'll say, wow, that is in my head, but to myself, like not out loud like a weirdo. But I'll just say like, oh my God, that coffee mug it's so pretty. Look at the green on that coffee mug. It's just such a nice green. And it's so stupid that it like kind of makes you smile a bit. Like you saw how I just smiled a second there. I'm like, yo, this blue, look at how sick this blue is. And it's like insane. So that's the easiest one is colors. But then you'll start moving to like objects and stuff. So you'll see like, I don't know, here's my water bottle, for example. You're like, yo, that water bottle looks like it can hold a lot of water. Like you see how my energy's changed? I don't know why this happens, but it's just like, it's so stupid. It's like you're pointing out the obvious. You're like, oh my God, this is blue. Look at how blue that is. Or like, this Sharpie is so orange. And immediately it just kind of makes you smile a little bit, right? And, obviously you want to have a good posture. So you like put your shoulders back and kind of like, look around, scan the room and just start looking at stuff. And you're like, that's such a nice pink. Or like, that table right there is so interesting. Like, and it just sounds so weird. Like, because you don't usually do this stuff. You usually kind of walk in. The reason this is so good, though, what I found is it takes your mind off of the social pressure and more onto the objects in the room and little things that are interesting. It's almost like if you ever taken shrooms before. Like when you take shrooms, you're like, wow, that is such a pretty color. Like everything's so pretty and vibrant. And that's kind of what you're doing here is you're like opening up your senses. Like you're allowing yourself to feel like the actual wholeness of the room. And it takes your mind off the social anxiety part of the whole thing. Because before you might have walked in and be like, okay, well, I don't know if I should talk to someone, or what if I do this and I mess up? Now you're looking around the room. So it's a very easy way to cure social anxiety. What I've noticed when I do that, I start smiling more and I look more approachable as a person. You want to look approachable. And I've had times like even, this was a couple of days ago, I was in a gas station and I was doing the same thing. I was like standing in line and I was looking at all the like candies. And I was just like in my head, I was like, look at like the orange on that Reese's bar. Like that's so, or I guess it's like Reese's cups, but you know what I'm talking about. It comes in like the two. I'm like, look at the orange on that. And then look at the Almond Joy. Look at how blue it is. And I just get so like excited in my head and approachable. Well, this girl walked into the gas station and she was on the phone and she was really pretty. And she looked at me, she smiled, and she waved at me. And I waved back. And that was it. I didn't talk to her further from there. That was it. But, like, before, if I was the guy that was like, oh, my, like, wow, that girl's really pretty, and, like, kind of just put my head down and was like, maybe I should go talk to her, maybe. I guess you see the difference, like, right? Like, you kind of have this on the one hand, you're kind of like, I don't know if I should go say it. Like, what would I say to her? What if I fuck it up? And then the other hand, you're like, oh my God, that's such a beautiful color. And you're like looking all over the place. You just look interesting. And you have like a childlike curiosity that other people want to know, okay, why is that guy in such a good mood? The other thing that is good about this too is once you start pointing it out with objects in the room, you can start pointing it out with smells and people and other things like that. So for example, say there's like a girl and she's wearing a really pretty dress, right? And it's got like pretty flowers on it. By the time you've done all this other, like, that blue is so nice and that lamp is super cool and this is really interesting, you kind of see that girl and you're like, wow, she has such a pretty dress, because you've opened your eyes to it. So you can then walk over at that point and say, oh my God, you have such a pretty dress. What's your name? Or where'd you get the dress? Like, that's it. That's all it takes. So that's like kind of letting your intrusive thoughts win. But since I'm going to talk about cold approaching, I do have 2 other tips. This is just for people in general. I don't like the idea of like going somewhere and then trying to like cold approach girls. I think that's like a stupid thing to do. It's like the easiest way to become one of those like black pill guys where basically like you believe that like girls ain't shit and it's like a waste of time. Like, no, bro, girls are fun. Like, go talk to women. But I think if you go out of your way to do it, you kind of like turn into like the creep, and girls can kind of feel that vibe. So I wouldn't do that, but just in your day-to-day, I'd focus on just talking to new people all the time. Like, one of my goals for this year has been just every single day, I try to say hi to one random person. And it just helps with social anxiety. I think it's this fear of rejection that a lot of us have. It comes from like past insecurities and maybe conditional love. And so when you go to talk to someone, you're like scared that they're going to be like, fuck you, don't talk to me. But that's not ever really the case. So I'm going to give you 2 more tips. After you've already done those things, if you're still feeling a little bit nervous, this is how you cold approach people. Remember, it's all about people. You don't like worry about like, I got to talk to the pretty women. Screw that. Talk to people, bro, if you have social anxiety. That's probably why you clicked on this video. So my first tactic is to give people fist bumps. This is very simple, but you just kind of walk over and you go like this, and people won't reject a fist bump. And if they do, they're like a really shitty person. A fist bump's great. If you go like this with your hand, that's a little bit too formal. But if you just walk by someone, you just go like that, they usually give you a fist bump back. Or you can say something with it like, how's your day going? And put your hand out like that. And it sounds really abrasive, but it's like one of those things where you'll start to realize that like no one's really going to turn down your fist bump. And if they do, they're probably weird, or they're like so in their head. Like, you'll realize a lot of people have more social anxiety than you do. And then the second thing, this one's actually my favorite. This is like probably my favorite thing to do of all time. If I'm ever like nervous to talk to someone, or I don't know what to say, I'll just start by saying the opposite of what time it is right now. So for example, if it is 7 p.m., I'll look someone in the eyes, I'll smile at them, and then I'll say, good morning. Now, it's clearly not morning. Like, it's 7 p.m. at night. The sun's going down. It's not morning. Like, it's not even up for debate, right? Now, one of 2 things will happen. Either, I guess 3 things. Either they'll say good morning back to you, which I think is really funny, because some people will actually just, they're like so socially oblivious that they'll actually just say good morning right back to you. So I think that's pretty interesting. And then the second thing that can happen is they just kind of ignore you, or they just look at you and smile and kind of like walk away, which again, you'll realize that more people are socially awkward than you may have thought before. And actually, this kind of is like my little internal game with talking to random people. You talk to someone and they kind of just give you a look and they're like, ugh, you know, or they're like, yeah, like, hi. And they kind of like put their head down and start doing this little stuff, like looking away. You realize like they're more nervous than I am. So I think that's pretty interesting. And then the third thing is they'll tell you it's not morning. And so then when you have to be very careful about how you do this, but when somebody tells you it's not morning, what are you talking about? Or did you just wake up? You have to gaslight them into believing it's morning. Okay, so someone's like, it's not morning. You're like, it's morning somewhere. Or like, it is morning, but people are lying to you. It's definitely morning right now. You just don't know. You don't know it's morning. And then they're like, oh, it's not morning. And you kind of have this little back and forth banter. And you can use that to start a discussion naturally, or like naturally turn it into a conversation. Those are kind of my tips. I've just been talking about this because I've been learning a lot of stuff about like just psychology and like social interactions, especially with strangers. And I think that nowadays it's like super weird and uncommon to approach random people. And I think that part of that comes from just being scared, you know? So that's pretty much it. The other thing I'll say is let your intrusive thoughts win sometimes. You gotta just let your intrusive thoughts win. Like sometimes I'll just be standing there, say I'm standing in line at a coffee shop and it like smells bad and there's like 3 or 4 people around me. I'll just say, oh my God, guys, does anyone smell that? It smells fucking terrible in here. And they're all like, haha, and then they laugh. And you start having it, and then one of them will go like, it does smell really bad in here. Like, it does. Like, that's kind of the energy. I don't know. I do that too. So it's just a random thought. But the biggest takeaway I want you to have from this video is just wherever you are, if you're ever like having a bad moment, even if this isn't even about approaching, this is just like in general. If you ever have like some anxiety or something going on, just start looking around and just noticing like how beautiful everything truly is. Because it is. It's beautiful. Like, look at how pink this thing is. And like, I don't know, just everything. I'd start putting a bunch of stuff in the screen, but this video is running ages. And it helps other people be more receptive to you. I've had plenty of people look at me, smile at me, wave at me. It's very easy at that point to just say, good morning, or good afternoon, or how's your day going? Or hope you have a good day, right? And build off of that. So, I don't know, random video. I don't usually talk about this kind of stuff. I run a marketing agency, so it's like not really my... Usually I talk about like marketing, and then sometimes I just come on here on a rant about whatever I'm thinking about. But that's the video. If for whatever reason you need help with marketing, there's a link in the description. You can put in your information, and I have a bunch of free stuff for marketing that you can have access to. I don't go over that in this video. I got plenty of other videos on my channel where I talk about that. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, because I literally come on here and talk about whatever I'm thinking about, but usually it has to do with like male self-improvement. That's just how that goes. So hope you enjoyed, like the video, and have a beautiful day. And look around at how beautiful the world truly is.